Three, two, one. We are live. Hey guys, thanks for joining us. It's the Jason J. Daniels Show, afternoon edition. It's a little brighter, right? I have a special guest with me, Seneca Scott. Seneca, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, Jason. Peace
Um,
out, man.
it's it's a pleasure. It's an honor. I really have a lot of respect for you, and I am inspired by the work you do. You are your social media is on fire. You have an incredible YouTube channel, and most of the people watching this probably know you, but a lot of people wouldn't know who you are. So I just want to allow you to share your bio with the audience, and then I also have your bio. So tell the folks who you are and why we're talking today.
I'll give it the quick and dirty, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm an organizer by profession, uh, trained in labor movement, U.S. labor movement. Went to School of Industrial Labor Relations, Cornell University, came to California in the early 2000s. I graduated in 2001. And since from then until 2014, I was on the front lines of the U.S. labor movement. Um, I've worked for 16 different unions over my career. And the biggest triumphs were leading the Writers Guild strike. I was the organizing director for the Screen Actors Guild during that time, and it was pretty much our strike. We didn't want to strike over new media. 2008, leading the West Coast operations for the Transportation Security Administration campaign that was organized. We organized TSA, then leading the bus strike for Oakland in 2012 or 13, that was, as the East Bay director for SEIU 1021, where I also negotiated pretty much every union contract for SEIU, from as north as Richmond, as south as Fremont, and as east as San Ramon. I left in 2014, moved to Oakland full time, started a community garden, a big festival company, was having all types of fun, was super popular. And then the pandemic hit, and one of the elders from my neighborhood sort of made me run for office. I filed it the last day possible with District
Really?
3.
That's
And
really interesting. It
I didn't
twisted
know
your arm.
anything about government. I didn't know anything about government really besides the union side of negotiating and municipal finance and stuff, which is a good
Okay.
deal. But once I ran, and I got over 3,000 votes, which is interesting. That's almost double what I got for mayor, which I don't want to get into the election integrity issues here. We'll be here
Sure.
for a lot longer than 45 minutes. But after I ran, and I believe that if you run for office and you really like had your heart in it, what do you do if you don't win?
Hmm.
And so when I didn't win, I started Neighbors Together Oakland, a nonprofit. And one of the first things that we did is that we sued the city of Oakland for failure to follow our encampment management policy. We have a policy. It was unanimously passed in 2022. I'm sorry, 2020, during the election in October, 2 weeks before we voted. They passed this policy that, oh, we're going to solve this, and then they lied and gaslit us like they usually do.
Right.
But Neighbors Together was founded around four pillars: community safety, which is why we founded the lawsuit. Second is the local food system. We have a community garden, and the importance of local food systems, early childhood nutrition, nutrient dense food for knowledge retention, and just for a community, and having organic community third spaces via having community garden. Then we have accessible housing. What does affordable mean? It's weaponized. People need to access shelter as part of our hierarchy of need. And then last, we have thriving local businesses in terms of we have to nurture our businesses, which we don't. We have a chamber of commerce that doesn't protect commerce. They work with the bad guys, in short. So anyway, I ran for mayor. I didn't win. I noticed that Oakland was super corrupt. The mayor filed late. They covered it up. I blew the whistle. That's when the attack started. When I blew the whistle, excuse me, when I
Yeah.
blew the whistle on Thao filing late, and then they ignored it, so we had to go to Marlene Sachs. I went to Marlene Sachs personally, and of the Alameda County Taxpayers Association, very talented lawyer with a strong track record of successfully suing the city of Oakland. She had lawsuits on public records requests. And so I didn't know her very well, but I reached out to Miss Sachs to be like, hey, like, you got to file a lawsuit. And she was a very tough lady. And she was like, I don't want all this. Doesn't seem like this much. So then I filed public records request and sent back the timestamp stuff. It was like, look, there's something here. And she was like, oh, yeah, there's something here. And so she jumped all on it. And, but you know, Oakland is the corrupt city. We're a banana republic. We let people, I recalled the mayor, voted on 2 items a month after she was recalled. And then later in the same meeting, the city council says, well, now we declare you're no longer mayor. It's not the city council's determination. It's the voters. Who are these people? They've lost their freaking mind. And
Yeah.
Oakland's gone insane. It feels like we're in a movie. We've been captured by some kind of nefarious reptiles and evil devils are running City Hall. But anyway,
Like,
that's me in a nutshell.
do you remember that show V, The Visitors? Remember that from the 80s where they were
I
lizard
love
people?
that show.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's I just rewatched it. It's my favorite show ever.
Every year when I would come on, you'd be so happy when you went through the TV guide. You'd be like, oh, yeah, V's on this
Yes.
week.
Oh, they don't understand. We were like, that terrified us, right?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
like, now when we watch it now, we're like the special effects. I mean, they still kind of work, even though you can be
No,
like,
they were good enough. We had it down in the
yeah,
80s,
you can
man.
respect that they did their best, you know, with all the I guess what do you call it, like traditional special effects without CG, but man, still scary. Anyway, I just rewatched it, and it's such an allegory. Actually, I read the novel when I was a kid, and it was obviously much more, you know, political. It's a very political story, so it makes
I
me
never
listen
thought
to it.
about it. I haven't thought about that movie in 20 years.
Yeah, you can find it on Tubi. I just watched it on Tubi. The
How
miniseries
long is it?
it's 4 hours.
Okay,
It's
I
like,
thought so. 'Cause it's like all week. When we come on back to the day, every day that week, it would
right.
be an hour.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was 1 hour, but they put it together. It's 2 episodes, and then they have a series. The series is not as good, but I just it haunted me as a kid. Like I always think about that show.
Mm.
Anyway, okay, so thank you, Seneca. That was a dope bio. Man, you've been in the middle of it. Like you're right in the middle of it. You're on the streets. You're in the middle of the worst part of it. They have vilified you and attacked you. It's wild, man. They've
Wow.
brought
Right. Somebody
legal
who
action
doesn't work for
against
the
you.
government.
Yeah, and I'm sure you saw this that Barbara Lee even used you in one of her campaign materials. Did you see
Oh,
that
I saw on her website.
on the website? Yeah,
Yeah.
they even
Oh.
put you in there as like
Oh,
a. It's like
yeah. I've said it on my show. You
I'm
tell
sure you
lies
see.
about
Yeah,
me, I tell the truth about you.
it's a
So we
Q and
put
A.
yeah.
They
It's
put a Q&A out so if people have questions they can
ask
use
Lauren
you.
about someone who doesn't work for the city of Oakland, who has no decisions over taxpayer stuff. This shows you how desperate these people are to
They
get
were.
to the flood. So here's one thing that anybody who has this basic psych degree likely remember.
Mhm.
The malignant narcissist personality type, which many of these people are dark triad personality types, they have to scapegoat. That is their primary means of defense, is to have a scapegoat, to
Yeah.
take the stink off of them. Now, remember, Malcolm X says wisely, if you're not careful, the media will have you cheering for the bad guy and demonizing the good guy. And so I ask anybody who's listening to consider if the government is failing us. Like Mr. Fab has a song he put out like 6 months ago called Save My City. And the hook says, the government failed, we're living in hell, save my city. The government failed, the government failed, we're living in hell. Okay? Save my city, like I'm trying to do.
Wow.
I don't work for the government, I never have. I'm not an elected official. I don't control your tax dollars, I don't pass any policies. But the people who do all of the above are using every bit of their resources to scapegoat someone who just a renter and lower bottoms of West Oakland. Now ask yourself,
It's wild.
would I fall for that? What type of person with any discernment, be it spiritual, intellectual, even a shred or an ounce of discernment, would blame someone who's not in power for the actual problems caused by the people in power, and in all confidence demonize that person like they're responsible for what's going on in Oakland? If you're one of those people, you're a fucking idiot. It's stupid. It's
It's about,
stupid. You need to slap your fucking self
it's
and
about
wake the
time.
fuck up. Wake up. Wake up. They are the government. They are the government. They are failing us. They're failing our children. They're failing our grandma. They're failing our businesses. And you're gonna fall for the basic scapegoat attempt. It's not even a good one. At least pick someone with some money or some
Right.
power. You telling me my internet connection and a sense of humor and
Yeah.
sharp wit and ability to look a little bit deeper than the average person is that disturbing to you that you have to be? But yes, it is. You know why? Because they know the truth is the light. And when people see who they are, they will be naked. They will be laid bare for all of us to witness. And at that point, they will no longer be able to hold on to their power. They can't even cheat the rest because we do absolutely cheat in elections here. We cheat to put people on ballot. We cheat in the election.
Fuck yeah.
1,000%.
I can't even.
I
It's
dare
unbelievable.
someone call me whatever you want, but you want to debate me because I will come with facts. I'm not going to say, here, it happened theoretically. No, I'm going to show you on paper. And I challenge you to refute my facts and logic. Point out errors or omission in my fact or logic. All right? Like, don't come with any anti-intellectual debate tactic like the freaking Socrates love to do. They cannot debate on the facts.
That's right.
Anyway,
Wow.
it's a
Yeah, I love
shame what we
it.
go through here in Oakland. It's an absolute disgrace that our citizens have these people. But we put them in office. We put them in office. And it's the reason we won the recalls, and this is very important. The city is broken down into thirds. And San Francisco Chronicle broke it down into fifths in their great article that they did when they broke down Oakland's electorate. But, and they're right. I think we talk about two different breakdowns. So I'm going to talk about a higher elevation breakdown into thirds where people are clustered into one of three main groups. You have your ultra progressives. Who are these people made up of? Old hill hippies, and then you have 1/3 of registered voters. I'm sorry, 10% of registered voters in Oakland. Over 20,000 people work for either the government or an NGO or a labor union. And so I think it was, who said this? It is Upton Sinclair. It is hard for a man to see something when his salary depends on him not seeing it. And so that's 10% of up top of people who work for these organizations. And then you have your ultra radicalized. So that's the third of your voter. Another third of your voters are foundational Oakland people. Second, third, fourth, fifth generation or more. Many of them have generational wealth. This includes Black people and Latinos and Asians and Indians and all of that. Everybody. What I love about Oakland is that we truly are a blended city, not just demographically, but in the way that we congregate. But that third primarily lives in District 4 or District 6 Hills because they've been around for a while. They have generational wealth. They live in the nicer parts of town. And some of them live around here. But the point is, they're foundational Oaklanders or business owners. That's the third. And that foundational Oakland group, which is very important, they pay the parcel taxes. So they own the property. And then you have the middle third. That's the transients now in Oakland. I'm one of those middle thirds. I live in Lower Bottoms of West Oakland. I've been here for 10 years, 11 years. I move and I rent a house that a family could live in with just me and my girl. I got 3 bedrooms, multiple bathrooms, right? Like, because I like some space. I got my office here, I'm doing my thing,
Me too.
right? But the point is, I'm a renter. I'm a transient, like we call you, whatever. I don't like to use the word gentrifier, but I'm not first generation, whatever. I love Oakland. I want to have my children be second generation Oaklanders. But the point is, we're third. And we're the third that wins elections.
True.
Okay? We're the third that wins the election. So our middle third, which is mostly younger white people who are upwardly mobile and who also are transient, they will move out of Oakland too with a heartbeat if they don't like it anymore. We just want to be good people. We want to be progressive. And so we look around and say, who's talking about the issues of the working class? Even though we're not part of it, whether it's middle class or the upper class, who's talking about these issues? And we're looking around and it's the progressives. We're, I don't see any moderates caring about poor people or talking about social justice.
Mhm.
Optics, whether performative or not, are completely dominated by progressives.
100%.
And so we took our cues from them. Well, not anymore, because Neighbors Together came into town in Oakland. And so we took our cues from them. And we vote for whoever they tell us to. No coal in Oakland? Yeah, I don't want coal in Oakland. Yeah, I don't want asthma in Oakland. Fuck that dirty cold shit, man. Right? We don't want these gentrifiers, although we're the gentrifier. We don't want these gentrifiers going to Oakland. We care about Oakland. We don't want these greedy developers playing on poor people. And so we vote progressive because no one else had challenged that or sought to provide any relief for these social economic issues besides them.
Yeah, they move in it. They take control of those issues when they don't have answers.
Same way that the right took control of Christianity.
Good point.
They don't own Christianity.
But they use it as a political tool, yeah.
Exactly. So, same thing. Woke left, woke right. 1 and 12 on a clock, not a ruler. And so, when I started to actually look deeper at the continuation of my bio, which now intersects with this conversation, and I'm like, oh, okay, we got a real problem, which is people fucking off our money, which is, I work for the union. The pensions are out of control. They're working remote. There's there's all types, we're not modernizing. There's all types of stuff happening. And we start to try to provide some solution, expand the electorate and educate people. And then remember our 4 pillars. So now we're coming in with an organization that wants to address concerns of the working class and of all people and all neighbors. And we're challenging the activist space for who can actually do something that works. And these people lost their fucking minds. They were like, oh my God, we can't have this. We got to cancel this guy. Yo, I've had people.
I've really tried to cancel you.
I've had people I don't talk about this in public, but there have been several people who have literally transitioned in my home, subleasing my bedrooms, where they went through that very personal, intimate process of changing who they were. I founded parties that are literally queer parties. When the Ghost Ship fire happened, we mourned because we lost so many members of that community, and we cried and we fellowshiped together. And after all of that, to just want to demonize someone as being anti because it suits your political needs, that is so disgusting, and it does such a harm. It does such a harm to people out there who actually care about protecting the queer community. And then who wants to be an ally to you if you're going to treat people like this because you don't like their politics? It's fucking bullshit. Anyone who jumped on that, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself, right? Because you're backing one of the most disgusting people in Oakland history who's done so. You're backing people who supported Shing Thao and still do.
Still do.
Like, they still do. Get your fucking brains checked.
Right. And this is why I wanted to have you on, because they just don't know you. Right. And I wanted people to get to know you in this conversation and understand what they did to you to villainize you was the most disgusting, despicable thing that they could do. They tried to take a sensitive issue and try to completely make you the boogeyman, the bad guy. And there was no evidence at all that was could even stick. But
how many people fell for it? You live in Oakland, right?
No, actually, I'm on the outside of it. Yeah, but I have a lot of relatives and family.
Okay, so did they fall for it?
What's that?
Did they fall for it? Because everybody knows me.
No. You know what? No, because they don't pay attention to the mainstream. I guess what do you use it? Alternate is Oakland side alternative.
Oh yeah, Oakland side. No, they're non-profit, but they're mainstream.
They're mainstream, yeah. So no, because if you're not paying attention to what you're doing online, if you're not actually reading you on X or following Gotham Oakland on YouTube, you're going to fall for the bullshit. And that's the problem. People are, well, first of all, they're very busy. There's so many things going on. They're trying to take care of their families. We get that. That's why you're doing what you're doing. You're doing that for the people that can't do it. You're the voice, right? And so you have it's an amazing YouTube channel. People need to go to it. It's so super dope. Gotham, Oakland. You put a lot of production into it, and it's so much. It's fun to watch. One, it's historic, it's entertaining, and you have all the details and everything going on. If somebody goes to your YouTube page and starts watching your videos, they have no excuse. And that's
No,
why
none, none, none. They never talk. Stalkers never talk about Gotham Oakland. They're like,
No,
what?
they
Gotham,
don't.
what?
But they're watching it.
Oh, they're watching it.
They're
They're
reading
watching
you.
it. They're reading it.
Wait, so okay, I've never been more banned. There's two things that get me are like blocked. Here's two things that get me blocked on X: reposting you, putting you on my podcast, and talking about the WNBA. People just can't stand those two things I do. They don't
like that. They don't. Oh, what do you say? It's subsidized and it's low quality, and then they get mad at you.
No, I'm just because I know it, because I know basketball. And because the truth is, I'm older, and people think, well, you shouldn't watch women's basketball. It's the craziest stuff. Like,
hold on, they don't like women's. So here's I think the WNBA is very entertaining.
It's amazing.
And
they just don't like.
They get mad that you like it. Oh, mm-hmm. They get really. I thought it was the opposite. I thought they got mad that you didn't like it.
No, I love it. I'm a huge fan of it.
I think that the NBA should continue. It's subsidized because it doesn't make much money. But look, if you look at it, I have friends who work for NBA as senior executive. I've attended every single finals game between the Dubs and Cavs. We didn't pay for any, including Game 7 when my beloved Cleveland Cavaliers came back.
Oh, you're a VIP.
I'm from Cleveland. But
okay, so are you happy with Shedeur in Cleveland? Are you a Browns fan? Or just
every Cleveland, Browns, Indians, or what do they call them now? The Nationals or whatever. I call them the Indians. I don't really.
Right, fair enough. So are you really quick? Are you big on Shedeur?
Oh yeah, I played track and football in college.
Okay.
Huge basketball fan.
So you're hoping he makes the Browns roster? Shedeur Sanders.
Oh yeah, I think Sanders will be okay.
Okay, cool. All right, just wondering.
He'll make the Browns roster. He's got good genes.
yeah, I know, right? Well, anyway, go on with your story. But I'm just what I was going to say is they look at me, look at my appearance, and they think, how can I care about women's basketball? How can I be passionate? How can I be a fan? Well, they don't understand. I'm a fan, right? Well, and I love sports. I love competition. I'm just like everybody else, just like you. You're like everybody else. We have the same needs. We have the same hierarchy of needs, and we all care about politics and sports. People just want to judge us, and everybody, I guess, from outside appearances because they're too narcissistic to really take a moment to listen to people. But
most of them are judging. Most of them are judging from anonymous accounts. So just block them when they go away.
Also, I did want to bring on. I forgot to put these on earlier. I got my
Gotham style.
I got my Seneca glasses.
I'm got the glasses, baby. I did that.
My outlaw gear on because you are undisputed. You are the undisputed champion, man, of politics. I just want to crown you the undisputed.
I don't know. I have to win an election first before I can claim that.
Okay, I don't want to call you an activist because that just seems like you're just more than that, right? But you are. I'll just say you're the voice. Look, you're the voice. You are the anti-progressive voice. But we're all over the place. Sorry, I keep cutting you off. But go with your NBA story. I want to hear your NBA story.
I beg your pardon?
Talk to me about. You said that you've been on you've gotten seats to the playoffs. We were talking.
Oh no, that was it. I just, the best one was going to Game 7 and beating the Dubs, which is the best. Two people died that night in the arena. Somebody got pushed over the balcony, and somebody jumped off, and I guess they bet the farms and lost.
Speaking of passion, I really appreciate you just being yourself and passionate, and just this is the podcast for folks to do that. I want to also reiterate really quick: city council candidate, mayoral candidate. You filed on time in 2022. Thao should have never been on that fucking ballot. That's unbelievable to me. We'll get into that, but it's crazy. And also, Neighbors Together Oakland is a great website. Guys, go to that. You're also a cook, a farmer, and a chess enthusiast. Kid, you're good at chess. I'm shocked.
Well, we play some chess. We're known around anybody who's in the chess community in Oakland.
Dude,
They know me.
I'm coming out. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna do chess. We're gonna do some stuff. Maybe a Valkyrie game. We should do that. We should meet up. The
Well,
Valkyrie.
we're gonna have a block party in our neighborhood to celebrate a grant that we just got to grow a bunch of food and sell it hyper locally.
Who wins
And
out?
so that'll be in just follow my I think like mid-June.
Okay, well,
So
I'm gonna invite
it'll
my
be
friend.
like in a month or so. So we'll
That'll
have
be cool.
chess tables and all of that.
Thank you. Oh yeah, I'm totally going. So, man, maybe we could do an outdoor podcast. That'd be cool. So I got a question. We mentioned this. So what does it feel like? You kind of got into it, but to be pulled into the special election and used on Barbara Lee's campaign material, like,
Oh,
were you tell me about when you saw that? What the fuck?
here's the thing I said. Oh, they're gonna make me the mayor.
Right, right.
They're going
They
to give
were
me
trying
so
to
much
run against
name
her a little bit.
recognition. They're going to give me so much name recognition. And then when things come to pass that I've said on my show, and I've done so much media, I can pull media from 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I could tell the entire story. I can give it to a producer and make a documentary that would clearly show people through art who the bad guy and the good guy is.
You
And you just
should.
have to look at it over 5 years. So, we have a lot that we could play with. I don't have any plans of running for office because I'm kind of over that. But, and
Okay.
I also
Okay,
said,
breaking
this
news.
is,
Okay, so
this is,
let me back up. So you're
this,
saying breaking news, you're saying that you're not interested in running in
no,
the
no,
immediate
no, no,
future.
no.
Okay.
That's not breaking. Everybody knows that. I'm not really running
Well,
for
I'm
office.
just for people that don't know you, I just want to put out there. I
No, we're
want to
not
get
doing
you on
that.
video. No, look,
But
obviously, whatever you want to do would be amazing because would have kind of more power to not, like be a
more
thing, right?
media. I'm
Yeah,
happy that people like the show. I actually made it more for me than
that's me
the
too.
same way I cook. I cook for myself, and the fact that so many people like it, I guess it made me a chef. But mainly, I make the content for myself, and I'm very self-critical. But I tell you why I had the sunglasses before I move on.
Hmm.
The sunglasses allowed me to learn how to read a teleprompter without going like this.
Interesting.
And
Okay, no,
so
but it's style though. I love it because there are times I've done it. I do my TikTok videos with the sunglasses, or you're in the car or whatever. I love it. I love your style.
it's fun, but what it does disconnect you. Just lately, as you noticed,
Yeah.
I've been doing more without them
Mhm.
because
I did notice.
your eyes are how you connect with people, and they can sort of see your pain or your anxiety, and so you're missing a connection with the audience if you're not looking at them. Um,
That's true.
which again, I don't care fundamentally for Gotham because it's not about me. It's more about the information being presented, and so I'd rather depersonalize myself and sort of remove me, like, and it's a costume, but mainly I did it so I could read the freaking teleprompter
Yeah.
and
Well,
learn how to read
okay.
it. But now I know how to do it. I'm good. I'm good to go. So
Okay.
how
So
bad do you think Oakland will get? That's your question.
yeah, what's the next one? But I want to say, you got cool style, man. So we're style. We're not going to take anything away from it, but I appreciate the reasons for not using the glasses. So how bad do you think Oakland's going to get?
Oh man, I thought it was only up from here, but nah, we're gonna. This summer's gonna. As you already see, we've had like 8 shootings in the last 3 days. We
Yeah.
are 31, 32 murders. I'm losing count. They just broke up the biggest encampment on East 12th Street. Those they just put down the street from me at the extended stay. They bought the hotel and they're allowing people to do drugs there. I give that place 6 months before it burns to the ground. People are fucking idiots. I don't know what's
Yeah,
wrong with
and totally. And the dudes that had the restaurant that got shot up,
Yeah,
can't
it's
even
all
have a
bad.
restaurant.
It's all bad, bro. It's the dark ages. We're gonna go bankrupt. We're on track to go bankrupt next November, next in the next fiscal year. Oakland has quietly retained the bankruptcy attorney from Vallejo and Stockton. And when I put a
Really?
public records request in, they refused to answer it, saying that um, it's attorney-client privilege. So you can't have attorney-client privilege unless you have an attorney-client relationship.
Well, we knew they were going bankrupt. We knew it. Like,
Yeah, so they've already retained a bankruptcy lawyer. Barbara Lee, they're delaying her swearing in until the 20th because
interesting.
they don't want her to be attached to this budget because they're going to pass the budget, and then later on when the budget fails and next year they're going to say no, Barbara Lee didn't have anything to do with the budget.
Yeah. I thought the
Yeah,
same thing. I was like, that's why they're holding back because she doesn't want to be attached to that terrible budget. And there's no way
yeah,
around it.
politics as usual. These people are despicable. All they do is try to figure out how to not take accountability and steal more money and stay in power and lie to people. And it's run its course. Hopefully, it's run its course. I think that people need to learn a lesson from the election cycle and embrace the populist movement that we worked so hard to incubate in Oakland to give people a voice. But unfortunately, we've got too many weak-minded people, and our movement was watered down by the tech bros. I'll be honest with you. Like, I know
Yeah.
that people like to act like I don't know to do it in Power Oakland and those groups. Like they watered down our shit. They co-opted a movement. They wrote our coattails and they watered it down and they fucked up the funding so that it didn't go to the right people. And then Lauren shit with some John Kerry ass, fucking weak ass campaign. He had plenty of opportunities to freaking get at Barbara Lee in a debate about her stuff. He gave him everything he needed. He
So
said he never said. But
you
look,
agree with me? Yeah.
yes,
We
Barbara
both
Lee.
agree.
Okay, here's for those of you watching. If I'm debating Barbara Lee,
Let's do this. Okay. Yeah. I'll be
Miss
Barbara.
Miss Lee, you're running on your record, but I have a question. You
Yes.
rank
Yes,
two
Seneca.
hundred.
What is your question?
You rank 218th in Congress out of 450 in bringing money back to your district.
Fake news.
That's the bottom half. And when I went to college, if you got lower than 50%, it's called an F.
Yes. Yeah, that's
At
true.
the same time, you were the number one recipient of corporate-backed foreign travel. So you traveled the world on business people, companies dime, living in luxury, to the point where it was a well-founded rumor about you in DC where if you needed you to sign anything, all you had to do was send your family on a trip. Can you explain
So true.
how you rank number one in foreign travel, but 218th out of 450 and bringing money back to Oakland? Yet you brag about it, but 3 sport teams left under your watch. The floor is yours.
Seneca, um, but have you seen my friendships with Bill Clinton and Barack Obama? I mean, I'm going to bring
Yeah,
some
exactly.
superstars.
She would lose her ever loving mind if Lauren said that to her on live TV. She would have literally exploded and she would have went off and showed the angry side. Everybody would have been like,
Yeah,
"Oh shit,
that's
she
what they
didn't do
do.
it." He this is fucking shit is so weak, bro. I like Lauren. Lauren would have made a tremendous mayor, but he sucks at politics. Okay,
Well, look,
you know,
a
a
lot of
good
people love
mayor.
him. A lot of people love
mm,
Lauren, and so we'll put that out there. Look, everybody loves Lauren, but Lauren did. He rolled over. He didn't attack her.
He
She's
rolled over. He
leaving.
didn't attack her, and he
She's
denounced.
preparing it, man.
He pulled a Peter. He pulled a Peter, and he denounced Jesus.
That's a good way to put it. That's a
Okay.
good. I'm picking up what
I
you're
mean, that's a
putting down.
joke. That's I'm not being blasphemous here as a
No,
Christian.
no,
I'm
no.
not.
I
The
feel you.
point
No,
was that, like, yeah.
no. But you. Okay, so people in the know what you're saying, and they're picking up what you're putting down. And that's the first thing I noticed. And I was like, what in the fuck is happening? And when you just earlier said they co opted the movement, they co opted, I saw that too. And I'm glad you brought that up because I was like, what is, and I was wondering what you were thinking. But, I figured, I'll see it. And you told me, or you told us online. But I just couldn't believe that they took the power and the passion of that recall movement and completely just manipulated it into like it didn't exist. They tried to not talk about it, which is the whole fucking reason you guys were there.
Look, if you look at our recall assets, if you go to the recall X page or go on YouTube, every single video we made had two components that they didn't have: no B-roll, no voiceover.
Yeah.
That means every single thing you heard was coming from the mouth of an impacted voter in District 7. You saw their pain, you saw their face. That's the exact opposite of what the corporate tech bros did. It was 100% voiceover and 100% B-roll. They did not have any connection to the
It was
people. They didn't
so
show the
bad,
people.
dude. It was
It
so
was
bad.
so bad. I'm like, you guys suck at this. You suck. You know that we got 60% vote for the recall and we didn't spend any money on the campaign itself. We didn't send no mailers. We didn't pour no commercials. We didn't have to do none of that shit because our media game was tight. our social media game was tight, and we won the hearts and minds of the people. That was deliberate. It didn't just happen because Thao got arrested and all of that. It
No,
didn't just happen. People had to do those things. So it's really
no.
frustrating.
In fact, a lot of that stuff doesn't even move the polls. Really, the corruption doesn't. It's the passion about the corruption.
Hmm. Good
It's the
point.
people. The people vote for people, and they ignore corruption because they don't want to believe it's real. It is so fucking real, and you're really the embodiment of the voice of this. This is the difference, the change. I really appreciate you talking about this because I was frustrated for you. I just thought, why wouldn't they just say, hey, we're going to finish the job here, especially since he was like the recall candidate. He was the guy that almost won, and then he lost even bigger to, let's be
Well,
real,
he never embraced it.
he did. Yeah,
So think
he did.
about
He
Brooks
ignored it.
Jenkins. Think about Brooks Jenkins, San Francisco District Attorney.
Mm-hmm.
If you go back now, if you weren't following the DA recall of Chester Boudin, you wouldn't remember that. But if you go back and you look at it and check the tape, Brooks Jenkins was all in front of that shit. She was holding the signs. We call Chester. We call Chester. So anyway, and
Well,
she
so
won.
why do you think that he thought? Well, he did have a campaign. His campaign manager totally plugged into the left wing agenda, like the power players. They got the San Francisco guy elected. Why do you think he just backed down? You think he just did what they told him to do? Do you think he
Yeah.
really believed that, like, I just need to tone it down?
Yeah, they thought, oh, we're gonna let them, Seneca and them will just do all of that work and we'll ride their coattails. No, people are not gonna see you as part of our movement. We're not stupid. If you don't take the hill with us, if you don't stand out there with us, if you don't take the shots with us, then you don't get the reward. No risk, no reward. And so this is why Chief Armstrong lost. We literally, same thing. Lauren got cheated, 2 Black men, Oakland natives, one from West Oakland, where I live, one from East Oakland, both multi-generational Oaklanders. One of them got cheated, the other one got fired. One of the main reasons that we were recalling her was because of her unfair termination of LaRon Armstrong. And this motherfucker don't even ride with us?
Yeah,
That's some weak ass shit, LaRon. That's why you lost, bro. And I like LaRon. He was a great chief. But what the fuck, man? I don't know what's up with these guys, bro. I don't know. I can't tell you why they lost the balls. I can't tell you.
Really, that's what it was like. It was so easy. It was so easy to take that picture, like I said, of Shen Tao and Barbara Lee, going back to that, put it on a fucking billboard, and everybody drive past it, take it to the debate, just say 2 words, Shen Tao. And he never did it. He almost acted like he was trying to protect her from it. Because any other candidate would have brought it up.
Because you're dealing with people hedging their bets. How can you have, like, for example, some of these people are trying to give Barbara Lee a number 2 nod. What sense does that make? Get a top 2. They're just sucking up. You can't win unless you're all in, and that's what the progressives get. The progressives don't do that weak shit. They're all in on the win.
Yes.
They're going to put you next to Trump. They'll do whatever they got to do. They'll stab you in a phone booth over and over again until they get that win.
And so that's just I was really confused. Yeah, I'm like, okay, are we doing an election or not? I really was confused. And then the media made it seem like, okay, well, he's the only alternative, which when you look at the numbers, Seneca, everybody has a shot at those low numbers. Let's be honest, in a mayoral election, if the media is not completely ignoring everybody else. And that's why I was interviewing everybody else.
No. Yes, you're right. You're right. But you're also, I will have to say, it was a joke ass field, bro. There was only one candidate in that field besides Lauren and Barbara Lee that was legit, and that was Sue.
Fair enough, and I like her, and she had a shot. But everybody, as far as
I'm sorry, and Mindy. Let me not disrespect Mindy. I like Mindy, but she's not going to get elected. She's the freaking MAGA, bro.
Well, okay, we're not disrespecting anybody. I mean, you're going to.
They have no shot to win. They have no shot to win. None of these people have a shot to win. Even if the media told you who they were, but I like Sue.
Hear me out, though. Hear me out. When you look at the numbers, the drop off with Sue's. Nobody even got close to that.
Nobody got over 1% but Barbara alone.
So what I'm saying is, you can say You can say Sue's. Anybody can say anybody could be in that slot. And I think a lot of it has to do with that the media only interviewed those two people, Politico.
They always do that.
But
And
I'll say
so,
this. Okay, let's take Sue's,
yeah,
since
they
you
always
both
do
know
that.
her, and and I respect her. Let's take her and let's take Lauren out. And let's say Politico starts doing Sue's, right? Let's say the media sues, right?
Stu
It's
would have
not
got 40
just
something thousand
Lauren. It
votes.
wasn't the money, dude. It wasn't just
No,
the
it
money.
wasn't. The media, this is a big part. The media is selecting
So
people and they're giving you the optics of who are the legitimate candidates.
and that's why I wanted to interview everybody, because everybody had, just like you when you ran, everybody has to do the same stuff to get on the ballot. And that's why I'm like, look, everybody has a shot at this. Yes, of course, that's okay. I'm being unrealistic.
No,
Sure.
I understand.
Because
Mathematics. No, you're not wrong. You're
yeah,
not
I'm just saying,
wrong.
right?
Yes.
But yes, but we agree. I agree with you. I'm just saying.
Like it's deplorable. You know, they called me when we were running for mayor. They had a forum at a synagogue, a major forum, and they just didn't invite anybody but like Shank and Lauren.
Yeah, they did the same thing in the special election.
And I was like, "Yo, we're gonna protest," and they said I was an anti-Semite.
Sure, right. Any
Remember
right.
that? Like,
Okay,
but
so
then now you can be full on kill the Jews, and that's okay in Oakland, right? Like I don't know, the woke forgot that part, but
yeah, right. No, right now, because the election's over, you can be whatever. Um,
yeah,
so I'm just saying that and that's why you're doing what you're doing, and I'm doing what I'm doing, because I do believe that the power of of social media could break through that shit. For example, let's say Barbara Lee. Let's say in the big Lauren Barbara Lee debate where it was just them, sponsored by Empower and sponsored by one of the networks. Crazy, like that should never happen. That people are cut out of it. I can appreciate having a threshold, all these things, but not a monetary threshold. Okay. Also,
not a monetary threshold
that's whole,
because
yeah,
they're not.
yeah. You can have a threshold of like, yes, where do you rank? Right. I can appreciate that. But let's say Sue's or one of the other candidates, Mindy, who's a firebrand, gets up and says something and just puts Barbara Lee in a position. She looks dumb, looks like she doesn't know what she's doing, and then it goes viral. That could
That's
change everything.
exactly.
That's
That's
all I'm saying.
exactly
And that's why
why
they
they didn't
didn't
do
allow
it.
them in those
hmm
debates, because they
hmm
would attack her.
They want to control it all.
Yeah, they would attack
They
her like
have to
Minnie would attack
control it
her.
all.
Yeah.
They have to control it all.
Yeah.
Barbara Lee made over $65 million in no bid contract while an elected official.
It's wild.
Like it's just so many data points to point to that she's just another grifting DC swamp creature
Yeah.
that's done nothing for Oakland demonstrably, but they just made up this narrative about her. It's just not true.
But
She has
she
not
won.
served Oakland well. She won because she won because our populist movement was squandered because we did not get the resources. The resources went to the freaking watered down tugboat bullshit.
So you
Okay?
think the recall voters, we can call them your
Yes,
voters.
empower Oakland. Let me just be clear. Empower Oakland fucked this shit up.
I agree with that 100%.
Okay? Like they fucked it up. Okay? Just
Yeah.
left it to us, gave us the money, and we would have fucking won that shit.
I think so.
Right?
Well, okay. So you're one of the most, I would say, in Oakland, and this is awesome, by the way. I love this. Is exactly what I wanted to talk about. You're one of the smartest, most informed campaigners in the Bay Area. Let's just say, I'll just say Northern California. I'd just say probably California, and they're even talking to you in other states. Okay, you know your shit. Why wouldn't they get you? Right?
Good question.
And if I'm Lauren, no disrespect, but I have to look in the mirror and go, the reason why I'm even in this fucking position is because Seneca. And
Actually, Matt, I don't know. I can't answer that question, but I ask myself every day, what's wrong with these people? Here's what I think. I think that's exactly why they went through so much trouble to malign my reputation, to scare people from working with me.
Like it was a campaign. So there was a sub campaign against you.
Yeah.
To completely devalue you, kill your voice. It seemed to me your voice only got stronger too on social during that.
Nah, you're not gonna stop me, man.
No, but that's what they
come on now. Nah, you gotta look.
No, of course you're only stronger.
Let me show you something.
Show me. You're only stronger.
You see these people right here? You see these people right here?
I do.
None of these people were popular with the government.
That's true.
these people were also maligned. They also had attempted reputation destruction, and they were not popular with the local government. Um, you don't know you're making history when you're making it.
Well,
What you're
you are.
supposed to do is
This
to do
is
the right thing. So I don't really care what those losers say. I got the truth and the light. And at the end of the day, they're going to lose.
well.
And
They all did. Actually, the people that ran a campaign against you were kind of the people that were supporting Lauren. That's kind of my point.
what's that?
The people running the sub campaign against your reputation, I thought it was the Lauren crowd, actually.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't see that, but I wouldn't be surprised because they were
Well,
trying to get this.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I want to hear your thoughts.
Well, because a lot of people that block you, I was seeing, right? And so I'm seeing the people supporting Lauren, and then people getting on board of a lot of it's on social media, and from what was hearing, getting on board with just like being down on you and glad that you weren't visible.
Yeah, trying to
And
get me away from Lauren. They were so insecure about Lauren winning that they also fucking sold out their own movement. This is why Oakland's at where it's at, because it's full of cowards.
I can't argue with that. And when Barbara Lee, see, the thing is Barbara Lee's team outright put it on their website, not hiding the campaign against you, because they knew that there were people that would buy into it because the Lauren team wouldn't fight back.
Because they're weak. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, and I'm just going to say it, if you're privileged enough to hear it, Lauren's entire campaign plan came from me.
I don't doubt it, but
I'm the one who told him to fire Bear Star and hire Shashala and Pam. He needs to stop bullshitting, right? This guy, like, I'm really upset with him that he was that weak, that he let somebody emotionally blackmail him. Judge Brenda Harbin Forte didn't fall for that. Dr. Jennifer Tran didn't fall for that. They tried the same stuff with them. It's the fact that, you know what, let me not say that. Women probably are more courageous than men on average because they've had to face being, maybe
Sure.
women are just more courageous than men. But at least in Oakland, I have to say, what's that?
I was going to say, okay, so he had your game plan, which made sense in the beginning, but not the losing part.
No, not the losing part. They got away. No, they thought, oh, we got it now. We got it now. We don't need Seneca anymore.
Oh, and when the media started doing, oh, it's close, I'm like, it's fucking not close.
Not close.
Doing that. No, because if it was close, they would have said Barbara's winning outright. That's how it works. They're never going to say you're close unless they want people to, oh, he's got it in the bag. Easy. So, and plus with Politico getting involved, she has major connections, and she really didn't need to tap him because Lauren wasn't fighting. Now, maybe if he really had fought, they would have gone super dirty. Who knows? And he didn't want to get into that.
No, they couldn't go dirty because out there to stop that.
Well, yeah, he's definitely kind of squeaky, but I'm just saying, who knows? Just have the stomach for it. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I hope that. Here's the thing: it doesn't matter. You better figure this shit out and run again, because there's nobody else out there who can win next year, and we need someone who's got some common sense. So he needs to figure out whatever the fuck is going on with him. Grow some balls. Figure out what he needs to do. Go take an ayahuasca trip or whatever the hell he needs to do. And come back to Oakland, ready to fight for your city. I'm disappointed in him, but even when he denounced me like Peter and lied and told people that he wasn't, even when he did that, I didn't turn on him because Oakland's more important.
You were classy. You really were, because I probably would have been like, I would have done a podcast saying, you fucking kidding me? But I appreciated that you saw that wasn't wisdom, and you were, you're trying to work with it. Wow. Okay. We could go on forever, and I love this. This is a dope conversation, and there's no one else I'd rather have it with than you.
Well, thank you. You get a reason to have me back for part 2.
We're doing it. Okay, we're gonna do it now. I'm gonna let you go. We're wrapping up, but I do want to get into. We'll cliffhanger it, and then we'll have you back because obviously I love this. And now the election. I will say this on the election you just mentioned. Maybe you should run. I'm telling everybody that's. I'm looking at anybody who has a stronger voice than Lauren, who would actually attack Barbara, would have a better chance easily. They just cut that out. They didn't attack her. I think that's worth 10% right there. To me, it is, especially with the trial. If Shang Thao pleads out, it's not going to be good. We're looking at probably 10 years. She's going to prison.
She's 17 years minimum.
Okay, right. She's going. But if she goes to trial, That's going to be the
She's going to
crazy.
trial. She's going to trial.
So the trial's going to be happening right in the election cycle. Everyone forgets Barbara Lee does not have 4 years. She's serving out a term.
I
So
know, but you know,
she's
Rashad,
so vulnerable, dude. So vulnerable. And
I
what
know,
I
you
do.
know, anybody else with some courage knows, but do people have the actual balls to do what's necessary? Here's the problem. When you have the business community making these decisions and they don't
Yeah.
understand asymmetry, right? How asymmetrical politics work,
Yeah.
then they're putting themselves in harm's way, and so people are not going to put their business and their money and their employees and their core responsibilities are to make money and keep their business running.
Yeah.
And so there comes a point in time where they have to step away. Their problem is their hubris and their ego won't let them step away. They want to stay involved, which means that the natural risk management will lead to watering down shit to protect yourself. Then you should just get the fuck away. Just write
Yeah.
some checks and get away and give me the money. Give me the money. And
Well,
we will win. Or us. I mean the movement, right? Not
yeah.
Seneca
Well,
Scott,
no,
but
totally.
our movement.
Let's just say, yeah, somebody like you that actually can deal with the pain, actually has the courage because look, winning is painful. It will cost you something.
It's gonna cost you something.
And
Yes.
when people come to that point, they don't understand when they think that I've paid the price. That's when it's beginning. When it occurs to you, I'm paying the price. That's when you have to make the choice. Do I keep paying this price? You brought up Jesus as an example. I think that's a good example. It wasn't just the passion, right? It got worse and worse and worse, and then the ultimate winning was dying.
Yeah. So they whacked him.
So anyway, okay, so we have somebody. Okay, you're coming back for sure. So many cool things to say. We're gonna get into that, but look, if anybody watches this video and listens to us, we just laid out the ground. We just gave them a roadmap to if they're passionate or courageous enough, and they should call you if you're not.
Next time we'll talk about the CCP, Chinese Progressive Association,
You-
open societies, and all of that stuff.
It's what the infiltration of the radical agenda in Oakland is unbelievable, and not the good radical, because there's some good radical, but there's not the good radical. It's bad radical. Okay.
So, I'm a radical. I believe in radical accessibility. Yeah. There you go. Outlaws.
We're the outlaws. Dude, and I want anyone. I got to say this really quick. I love this, but I got to go, and I know you do too. But so we'll save. I'll give you the last word on the graphic because you're highly involved in it, and it's going to get bigger. I have asked Pamela Price to come on. She has said no. I have asked Lauren to come on. He has said no. I've asked a number of politicians that you have been critical of and I've been critical of, and they have said no. So I want people to know we're not hiding from people. We're asking them to come on and talk. They're just not wanting to talk in a forum like this where it's live and they have to be asked questions they can't control. I'll even tell them, hey, what do you not want to talk about? But they'd rather be on social
media. They never can.
Lies.
They never can because they're not honest.
Yeah, and so I want people to know when they're listening to this, I don't want them to think, well, we're just creating this world where I'm open. And look, Seneca is very direct with these folks. You call them out, and you'll debate them anytime. I appreciate that.
They never step up to the plate, but it's okay.
Well, look, whoever you endorse for mayor, as you know, I will be more than happy to help. Promote and because it's life or death for people in Oakland. Literally.
It is. I hope Lauren runs again.
I
really hope I do because he's the only one who could win. He has a baby.
He's the two-time loser. I'm just being honest.
He didn't lose the first time.
Okay, one time.
Here's what I say to that. Well, Barack Obama lost his first election. First two elections.
Okay. Sure, people lose and they come back. Okay.
Well, Connor lost his first 3 elections.
Fair. Okay.
Pam Price lost her first 10 elections.
Okay. Well, what can I say to that?
I'm just saying. First you don't. Hold on. What is the saying? What is the saying? It's that first you don't succeed.
Keep trying. I know.
Oh no. No, it's very deliberate. If you don't succeed, that's one try. Try again.
Again. Okay.
That's 3. Okay. That's 3. You got to try again.
All right. So okay. So you're okay after what went down. You already expressed your frustration. You're willing to support Lauren for a 3rd run.
And who else? If somebody else better enters the picture, I support them. But right now,
The jury's
You know,
out. Look, I think this is a brilliant conversation. Listening to you
thank you.
talk about it, and if people, yeah, and that's why we're doing it. And again, you're amazing. Okay, this is awesome. We go on forever. Okay, one last thing, and I'd love to do it in the future. I'd love to do a live with you, like a live where we're together in the same room. That would be dope, man. Like with a crowd, that would be crazy. Okay,
We're building a studio in Oakland, so we'll be done soon.
dude, I'm there. That would if you invite me. I don't want to invite myself, but I would
No, it's
appreciate
okay.
that.
I got you.
That would be cool. Okay, so the 22 election, the Shang Tao should never have been on the ballot. She's crying in the car. It was fake and rigged.
Riding in the
Hey,
car.
fake election, dudes. Fake election. Okay, to the people. Now, I'll give you the last word on this. You were highly involved in it, like you said earlier. You connected with the attorney who won the case. Clearly, corruption is legit. Like, it's documented. What are your final? Give us a cliffhanger, and we're going to talk specifically about that in the next time we get you on. What happened?
I would say for anyone who has oversight over corruption in the city of Oakland, primarily Attorney General Rob Bonta, it would behoove you to expeditiously do your job, root out this corruption, and follow up on the numerous leads that we have sent you, because all of these leads are now being sent to the federal government. With the appointment of Harneet Dillon at the DOJ for civil rights and other Trump appointees who, and as a post-partisan, I don't have any party affiliation, but if I have to go to an administration that I know hates California Democrats to get relief from my local corruption, we're going to do exactly that. And we have the communication tools to make that possible. So get on it right now, because otherwise, you're going to be involved next.
Amen. And let me remind everybody that you were right about Chantal. You were right about the recall. You were right about the signature scandal. You were right about the racism scandal that we didn't even talk about. You were right. You were right. You're on the heat check. I don't see the heat check coming. You're on fire. So they should listen to you. Seneca Scott.
They better listen. My man.
Thank you. You have changed
Jason,
my
you have
life.
a good day.
You have changed Oakland, and you are always welcome. Thank you, sir. Have a great one.
Thank you.
Oh, and we're gonna say bye. Bye. What's the name of the feline?
Oh, this is I don't even know. Boom Boom Kitty.
Boom Boom.
I'll name them after a while.
Yeah, you
Turtles.
change the name of the animals when you.
Yeah. You get a new name every month. They don't care. They don't respond to names anyway. So
that's true. That is true. All right, my friend, take care. And one last thing, I just want to put up here. Let's get rid of this, and I want to put everyone. They could go to your YouTube, and they should. Gosh, I have. Darn it, I have it right here. Seneca Speaks 21 at X. That's what I was trying to find. Oh, here it is. There it is. Okay, so screen capture, guys. Follow him there. He's amazing. All right, my friend. Have a great one. Thank you for your time.
thank you. Have a good one.
Bye now.